7 reasons why you are attracting emotionally unavailable men. Hey, it's Brett Parker. For the last 13 years, I've helped smart, independent women attract their ideal match and create thriving relationships. So I'm getting a lot of DMs from women and hearing in the comments from you who are having trouble because you're attracting emotionally unavailable men. Some of you are attracting married men. Some of you are attracting men who come on really strong and then disappear. All of these are symptoms of the same thing. So I'm going to give you 7 things, and some of them may piss you off, but if you really think about it, the common denominator in all of this is you. Number 1, and this one's going to hurt, you are the female version of them. So you yourself are emotionally unavailable. Think about it. Okay, we attract what we are, not what we want. We attract what we are. So if you are emotionally unavailable in your subconscious, in your core, then that's what you're going to attract. Number 2 is a drama addiction. I know you may not be a drama person. So here's what I mean by that. The chase gives you a high, and stable men bore you. Okay, number 3, and this is a big one, fear of real intimacy, right? If you don't ever have to get intimate and vulnerable yourself, well, that makes you feel safe. So these men will never put you in a position where you have to be vulnerable. Number 4, you're the fixer. His emotional baggage makes you the fixer in the relationship. But here's the newsflash, he doesn't want to be fixed. Number 5 is low self-worth. So if you're settling for crumbs, and that's exactly what this is, when you really deserve the whole cake. Number 6, and I pretty much guarantee you have this one, it's a familiar pattern. Now think about it. Were your parents emotionally available to you when you were a child, like ages 3 to 7? Was your dad there all the time? Even if he was a great dad and a great provider, he probably wasn't there for you emotionally during that time. So your subconscious recreates that pattern. And the last one is control issues. So if you're with a man who's never fully there, then you can't lose yourself. Want to break the cycle? Great. Start with yourself. Heal your emotional unavailability. That's the first step. Awareness is the key. Once you're aware of the problem, then you can take steps in the opposite direction. Hope that helps. Keep those DMs coming.
You keep going for emotionally unavailable men who can't give you the commitment you want. And buckle up because we're going deep with this one. Number 1, it's a distraction. The best place to hide from yourself is in someone else's problems. If you get so consumed with him and his drama and what's going on with his life and trying to fix him, you don't have to focus on yourself. You can put off dealing with yourself and dealing with your issues. Number 2, playing savior makes you feel good about yourself. Maybe this man does have a lot of problems. He does need a lot of saving. And you being his savior gives you feelings of self-worth, gives you feelings of self-esteem. And there's a part of you that may even think that by doing all this for him, you're buying his love and his loyalty. This is why so many women are so devastated when a guy like this leaves them. They're like, how could he do this to me? I did everything for him. I helped him. I healed him. And then he left me. This is why. Number 3, you feel connected to his darkness. Maybe you connect to him because he's lost and alone and you feel lost and alone. And we are always drawn to what feels familiar, to what feels like home, even if it's not what's good for us and not in our best interest. Number 4, you're emotionally unavailable. Here's the thing, like attracts like. An emotionally healthy person will attract another emotionally healthy person. An emotionally unavailable person will attract another emotionally unavailable person. Now you might be thinking, what are you talking about, Sabrina? I'm not emotionally unavailable. I'm dying for a relationship. Okay. But if you're consistently going for guys who are emotionally unavailable and won't commit, it is probably because deep down you don't believe you are worthy of love. And this probably stems back to your childhood, as everything does. So you are going for these guys who make you feel unworthy because that's how you subconsciously feel about yourself. And the subconscious mind is always looking to prove itself right. So while you might be desperately craving a relationship, you're setting yourself up to fail by going for guys who can't give you that. Number 5, you think that you will gain self-esteem if you win this guy over, if you get him to commit. You erroneously believe that all you need to do is get him to commit and then you'll finally be happy and then you'll finally feel worthy and then all your insecurities will melt away. It's just a trap. It's just a way, again, it's a distraction. It's a way to avoid doing the work necessary to actually build self-esteem. Instead, you think, okay, I just need to focus on winning him over and then I'll be golden. What's the solution? The solution is to first identify the problem. You need to identify why you keep going for unavailable guys. Obviously, there's something in it for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be drawn to them. You wouldn't be attracted to them. So figure out what that is and work on tackling it. And make sure to tap that plus sign, follow me for more relationship advice.
So I was just talking with one of my clients about why she keeps attracting emotionally unavailable men. So how do you know if a man emotionally unavailable or they're not serious? I'm gonna give you two example sentences. So listen carefully, okay? Number one, he avoids deep conversation and says things like, I'm just not good at talking about my feelings. Number two, he would say probably, I am so traumatized by my ex. I'm not ready for anything serious right now. But let's just go with the flow. But, okay, he is literally telling you that he is not serious. Why don't you just believe him? But you keep waiting and forcing the energy. These clear signs are telling you that he is not willing to invest emotionally or create deeper bonds. So you just gonna move on, my dear, because those behaviors will leave you only feeling empty, confused, and questioning your own worth. So it's time to pause and ask yourself, am I choosing men who cannot meet with my emotional needs because I have normalized these? To break this cycle, start prioritizing your own emotional fulfillment. You have the power to choose differently, darling. Start today.
If every guy you're dating is becoming emotionally unavailable, it's not a coincidence. So let's talk about it. Coming from a girl who used to go for emotionally unavailable men, I'm gonna get into why I think you're doing it and how you can change it. You're attracting what you believe you deserve. And I can't stress this enough. Our partners are typically a mirror reflection of who we think we are. So if you're attracting emotionally unavailable men, it could mean that that's what you think you deserve. That's the best you're gonna get. So you need to start rewiring your brain and your subconscious thoughts and start telling yourself that you are a queen and you deserve way better than that. Now, if you find yourself always chasing in a relationship, it could mean that you have normalized this and you need to flip the switch and now start saying that you deserve to be chased. A guy should be courting you. He should be doing everything in his power to get you, and you are too busy to give him that kind of attention. He has to gradually earn it, and over time, you'll give him more and more and more. It shouldn't be the other way around. Girls, boundaries. If he is being inconsistent, call it out. Don't be afraid that you're gonna lose this guy because he's being inconsistent and you're calling him out for it. Call him out, because inconsistency will just lead to even further inconsistencies and empty promises and talk but no action. So you need to literally call it out. But the ultimate secret here is you need to literally heal the emotional wounds that are inside of you, because once you realize your worth, your value, you have confidence, you know that you are a queen and that you deserve the absolute best, you're gonna start attracting that, and you're never gonna settle for a guy that isn't anywhere near that level of what you want. I can say this first-handedly for myself. Like when I was single, guys would ask me out and I literally just could not care because I knew that those guys weren't what I wanted. And then eventually I met my boyfriend, and I met a guy that actually meets my standards and treats me like a queen, and probably the best I've ever been treated in my life. So I know that you can get that. You just have to really believe that that's what you deserve. And that comes from healing the inner child wounds within. It comes from recognizing, traumas and just a bunch of stuff. It's a whole other video I can get into.
If you keep attracting emotionally unavailable men, there's a deeper reason behind it. Men who are emotionally unavailable don't just choose any woman. They choose the ones who are willing to wait. They seek women who overextend, overgive, or overinvest, even when they receive nothing in return. If you keep attracting them, ask yourself, do you believe love means proving yourself? Because real love doesn't require convincing. When a man is truly available, he shows up, communicates, and makes you feel secure. If you have to fight for his love, he's not the one.
You chase emotionally unavailable men because you think they must know something more about you than you know about yourself. The hot and cold behavior is intriguing to you if you're unaware of who you are. You want validation from someone like them because it would mean the most to you if they change their ways just for you. That would mean you're lovable and worthy. So because they're inconsistent in and then out, it makes you question who you are even more. And now you feel like only they hold the answers to if you're truly who you want to believe you are. If they don't see it, you internalize it and chase it until they can fix what you feel. It's simple to say, stop chasing emotionally unavailable men, but I think it's deeper than that. I'd say chase after you instead. Figure you out. Learn to love you, and if that feels too hard to do, start with self-acceptance. Start with self-discovery. Usually it is our parents that are the first emotionally unavailable people we chased and ate of their breadcrumbs. Even if your parents were decent and not abusive, did they make space for all of you, including your emotions? Did they only show love if you behaved? Did they talk about emotions and feelings with you? Or was it only about what you needed to be doing around the house or doing academically? You may not know who you are internally outside of what others think or what you can do for others.
Here's why you always attract emotionally unavailable men. A masculine man with depth of awareness, who's emotionally available, is drawn to your literal light, your radiance. That will not happen if you're lost in your masculine. This is going to attract emotionally unavailable or weaker men who lack purpose or any sense of direction, because emotionally available masculine men of integrity are drawn to your embodiment of the feminine pole of that interaction. The more you learn to naturally shift out of your masculine and into your feminine, the more you will begin to attract masculine men of purpose, passion, and direction.
You are just as emotionally unavailable as the emotionally unavailable partners that you continue to pick. Because what you're doing is you are picking someone who is incapable of loving you in a way that is safe, incapable of meeting your needs. You are basically asking someone who is in a wheelchair to walk up the stairs and then getting hurt, angry, confused when they are incapable of doing so. But your subconscious already knows that. You once again pick the perfect partner to constantly reaffirm your wounds that you are not enough and that you are unworthy of love. Because if you actually picked a partner who could love you in a way that was safe, who'd love you in a way that didn't hurt, who could meet your needs, then that is real vulnerability, that's real intimacy, it's real fear. And you repel that type of love because it does absolutely nothing to fuel the addiction that you have to being constantly disappointed.
The reason why you attract and continue to attract men that don't value, honor, and protect you, the feminine, is because you're not protecting yourself. Because there's been so many times that you see red flags, so many times that that little feeling in your stomach and in your womb and in your heart tell you there's something off here. And yet you're so committed to this idea of being in a relationship that your masculine goes, who cares? Don't pay attention to that. Keep going and just see if they change. That's a way in which your masculine is not protecting you. That's a way in which your very own masculine is not defending you. And that's a way in which your very own masculine is not putting your safety and your truth and your needs as the priority. And when your very own masculine can't do that for yourself, guess what it's going to attract? It's going to attract masculine energy that also doesn't value you the same way. I will never stop reminding you, and that is that you are the one, and you attract based off of what is happening inside. And that is why this awakening and healing journey is so important, because when you can heal the energy inside, you literally heal your life. You literally heal what you're able to attract, and life gets way more effortless because you're standing in your truth and in your power.
Why are you attracted to emotionally unavailable men? Ask yourself this. When growing up, did your caretakers emotionally neglect you in some kind of way? Were you always yearning for them to stop and see or hear you? They may have been physically there, but were not emotionally present or gave you the attention that you craved. And now you're trying to almost replay and fix this by attracting the same kind of guy who you cannot quite connect with. However, being aware of this is the first step to realizing a new path. Once you see a correlation and pattern, you can then try to consciously override the subconscious, which is telling you that's what you want.
Do you ever wonder why you keep attracting those emotionally unavailable men? Let's deep dive into why and how to break the cycle. Hey, my name is Ebony Harris and I'm a relationship therapist with over 13 years of experience. And when it comes to this topic, you are not alone. First off, we have to shift your mindset. It's not that you're specifically attracting unavailable men. You attract all types of men because you're dope, right? So all types of men are attracted to you. The question is, why do you allow unavailable men into your life? The most common reason is familiarity. We are attracted to what we're familiar with, even if it's not healthy for us. This means you might be attracted to men who remind you of your past relationships or childhood traumas, childhood issues. Yes, I'm talking about mommy and daddy issues. Your brain is wired to seek out what is familiar and what it knows, even if it's not healthy for you. So how do you combat this? Start spending time around emotionally available people. Pay attention to how they move, how they interact with other people, how do they treat you. In doing this, you make the unfamiliar familiar, so it starts to feel weird to be around emotionally unavailable people. Another reason why you may be attracted to unavailable men is because you are the one who's actually unavailable. If you say things like there wasn't a spark or they're too available, you may be looking for someone that causes your nervous system to be stressed because that's what you believe chemistry is.
Chemistry is not real, by the way.
Emotionally available people are consistent, communicative, and open. And if you believe that's boring, you may be the unavailable person. Sometimes it's about noticing the signs early. Once you're familiar with what available people do, then you start to recognize when someone is unavailable, and that means it's time to kick them to the curb. It's a red flag when they're not consistent. It's a red flag when they take days to respond. It's a red flag when they say they're going to do something and they do something different. I know what a lot of women will say. Well, they're the ones that approach me. The unavailable men are the ones that approach me. Of course they are. Unavailable men aren't risking much when they are approaching women that they have no intention of being emotionally attached to. Try to expand your circle. Practice engaging with people even if you're not interested in dating them. Practice flirting, practice engaging, practice talking to people, because that's how you get to know more emotionally available people. Not everyone that is attracted to you is going to make the first move. That doesn't mean you have to go out and ask for people's numbers. That just means that you can talk to people and give them the opportunity to engage with you and see if they're interested. If this resonates with you, start making conscious choices about who you spend time with. Embrace the available men and notice how they treat you. And if you're ready to break the cycle, follow my page for more tips on healthy relationships and communication. And let me know in the comments if you want to hear more about why I think chemistry is fake. That's all. Bye.